Friends, today's NRI Samai program from Los Angeles brought to you commercial free by listeners like you. Your generous donations make possible for us to stay commercial free, and today's show is pre-recorded. If you have a question for the guest, please send an email to nrisamai@gmail.com. We will follow up with the guest and find the answer for you. Thank you for your support.
We have talked to a few youngsters in a remote village in Andhra Pradesh called Matlam. This is a remote village nearby Machilipatnam. These villagers are passionate and wanted to change the way things worked, and the group finally ended up fielding a candidate in an election under a political party called Lok Satta that stood for clean politics. After winning in the ward election, we have asked them in an interview, what's the major problem that you see in the village? The villagers unanimously responded saying, toilets. I was like wondering, what toilets? What's the sense? When asked to elaborate, they mentioned that women in our village are facing a hard time going to bathrooms or restrooms. So the behest of national media talking loudly about shining India, developed country, largest democracy, world looking towards India, 5 in 10 richest people in the world are Indians. I wonder we somehow lost track in really respecting the roots of human mankind, our women, our mothers and our sisters. Friends, my name is Srikanth Kocharla from NRI Samai desk, and today we have yet another incredible woman working for a cause which by all means should have been a very basic necessity addressed immediately after independence. It's nothing but better toilets for women. Supriya Sonar is our guest today. I am deeply honored to have you on our show, Supriya. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
So friends, Supriya is part of Committee of Resource Organizations. It is called CORO. CORO, I once again repeat it, is Committee of Resource Organizations. The organization that initiated the movement for safe, better, hygienic toilets 18 months ago, and they do a bunch of other, to take up bunch of other initiatives as well. And it all started as a part of CORO's grassroots leadership advocacy fellowship program, which is run across Maharashtra with the support of many different organizations, so over 100 organizations. And CORO decided to look at the public advocacy part of it, and this is what we'll be talking about it. The website is coroindia.org, coroindia.org. Supriya, my first question to you is, I'm seeing the website of CORO, Committee of Resource Organizations. It's a culmination of wonderful organizations and wonderful people. Explain a little bit of what CORO is and what initiatives you guys pick up.
Yes. CORO is working in the slum areas of Chembur-Trombe. It started its work as work for adult literacy. But therein, with the experiences, we have moved towards integrated community development. And now we believe in the concept that leadership within and bottom-top approach. Changes can be brought about right from the bottom, and that's the concept we take forward through our grassroots leadership program that is called as CORO Quest Fellowship Program. And this campaign initiated through these fellowship program, that is we provide fellowships for grassroots potential leaders, and we provide different trainings. And along with CORO, there are more than 100 organizations which are partners in this program. In our training of public advocacy, it came up from all our fellows, mentors and organizations. We advocate for our own issues. But why not to take up an issue which is of a regional priority and do advocacy based on collective inputs, collective efforts, and have collective outputs. So that's how it came up. We in Mumbai, we have a campaign, as what we are talking about today is for free, clean, safe public urinals for women. But there are many other campaigns about for right to water, right to food, forest rights, grazing lands, single women. There are many other campaigns in the different regions of Maharashtra we are initiating. But today we are speaking about a campaign in Mumbai which is for basic biological need, basic human need of women in Mumbai. It was initiated through, because there are many organizations working on different issues, but we all working in Mumbai, we ourselves had faced this problem that if we have to use a urinal, we were charged, and compared to this, this facility is provided to men free of cost.
Insane.
And at the end, where men can defecate themselves anywhere in open spaces, but as of our biological need, we cannot do it. We need a private place wherein we can defecate ourselves, make ourselves free.
Right.
So that's how it started. And the crux is that in Mumbai, we have 2,849 urinals, that too free for men, and for women the number is 0. And this is authentic information we have got from Right to Information Act.
Horrible. Wow. Can you repeat that again?
We have in Mumbai 2,849 urinals for men free of cost for men, and for women the number is 0.
Oh boy. Oh my
So
God.
basically we are talking about the structure of urinal. There are no structures of urinal in Mumbai, and that's the reason why we need to fight. Because the person who sits at the pay and use toilet block, he says that we don't know what you do inside, so you have to pay. Even if BMC, Bombay Municipal Corporation circular says that urinal facility should be provided free of cost for women. The circular dated 23rd April 2011.
Wow. And then no one takes that seriously?
Actually, we have traveled a long journey, and I forgot to mention. Basically, I'm speaking here on behalf of my team, and we are all 30 organizations together advocating for this purpose, and I'm speaking on behalf of my team here.
Salute to all your team members, and from NRI Summit desk, convey our sincere, heartfelt thanks and congratulations for all the efforts that they put in. And you as a representative, I'm sure, bringing up to the forefront all the causes and initiatives that you guys work on.
Yeah.
And thank you for that, Supriya. And someone should take the lead, and you took it, and you came forward for this quick interview, and I really want to appreciate your time. Now, Supriya, my question is, better toilets for our women. This seems a national problem, and this should become a national movement, right? Explain a little bit about the campaign. What sort of, when we talk about a campaign or a movement, you would basically start off somewhere, broaden your community, pull up support, and then you'll have some tangible things to do. What's this campaign all about?
Yeah, sure. Basically, when we initiated, we only were aware that there is a problem, that they charge for urinals. That was the thing we knew. Then we all together conducted survey of 129 toilet blocks in Mumbai. And we have got a quantitative and qualitative analytical report of this survey done. That's how we came to know what is the cleanliness, what is the safety of these public pay and use toilet blocks. What is the current status? Because we ourselves surveyed, prepared reports, and in order to get mass support, because it was not activist problem. It was the problem of all the women, all the youths in Mumbai. So we conducted signature campaigns on 16 railway stations in Mumbai, and around youths, women, men, everybody supported with 50,000 signatures for this campaign. And we submitted this 50,000 signatures, analytical report of the survey, what we did together to the Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation. And we are in a constant follow-up, request letters, filing RTIs in order to get the authentic information. This was the constant communication with the corporation which we had in last 2 years. Thereafter, we are to go ahead. We understood about the gender budget. What are the notions to improve such issues in the gender budget, to reflect such issues in the gender budget? We have now almost in Mumbai 254 crores of budget for sanitation, but out of that what we demand is just 16% for women toilet blocks, if we go by calculation. So as a result of the campaigns, signature campaigns, surveys, agitations on the roads, constant communication and the media support for in order to uplift this campaign, it resulted in making a provision of 75 lakhs in the gender budget of the corporation.
Okay.
But we say it in other way. If you go to say it's coming on the agenda of the political parties, coming on the agenda of the gender budget, and it became a provision for the budget. It's a one-side achievement. It was a one-side achievement because after 7 months after the passing of budget, still we are awaiting for implementation of the same. Because when we try to find out with the authorities through RTIs, we are getting the answer. When the particular wards they are going to locate the spaces, then we are going to construct them. And when we ask about the safety of such places, they are saying that we don't understand what you mean to say. So we are back to the we are awaiting and taking a follow for the implementation of these 75 lakhs. And second, our achievement is it got a space in the Maharashtra State Women's Policy. They provided a special chapter for this because we as a team had a communication with the Women and Child Welfare Ministers and the other authorities related to it, that we are not we are not against BMC. This campaign is not against the corporation. This campaign is against the gender insensitive attitude of the authority.
Right.
Because if you go to see today, there are almost 96% of women are working in unorganized sector. Because now as of today, women are more than 50% women are contributing to the economy of Mumbai.
Right.
We have more 56% of the women corporators in the corporation.
Right.
Mumbai is economic capital of the country, and in spite of all such things, we as a women working in Mumbai, we have to come on the road for demanding for loans, which is our biological need, and above all, it's our constitutional right.
Yes.
So it goes beyond, and it's also a health issue.
Yes.
Because when we surveyed, when we did in-depth interviews, women have said that we don't drink water because if we drink water, we have to use a loo, and they charge a lot. So we are talking about a woman who is a fruit vendor who earns 70 rupees a day and has to spend 10 rupees a day in order to use the urinal. Then I don't know how people are going to justify this.
Right.
So that's how it was surveys, in-depth interviews, reports, signature campaigns, agitations, then gender budget, then state women's policy, and now we are at the stage wherein state women policy is going towards implementation. It has gone to the financial department of Maharashtra state in order to go towards implementation, and we are waiting for the meetings ahead with the corporation and child welfare ministry. And one more dimension I want to share here, and it's very important because as people might be aware that in Mumbai now development plan of Mumbai of 2013 to 34 for next 20 years it is under preparation. So we are communicating with the development plan officers and the departments and the communities also, so that if our spaces are located, provided in the planning of Mumbai, then only funds will be allocated and then only the things will come into reality. So basically it's a question of space. When we ask something new, there we also go to the crux of the issue, that it is linked to the development plan, town planning of the city. So we want to incorporate in that. So we have already moved towards it, and in the proposed plan there are spaces, locations provided for women toilet blocks in Mumbai. Let's see how it works further.
Friends, NRI Samay is a non-profit independent alternate media from Los Angeles, USA, which brings positive stories from grassroots activists from all corners of India and across the world. NRI Samay does not rely on corporate funding, and our shows are commercial free. We only rely on your donations. Corporate funded media is driven by the TRP rating, and profits are blurring the distinction between news and entertainment. Why do our news channels talk so much about cricket, movies, accidents, popular figures' personal lives, babies of heroines, gossips, etc., while they should be covering the struggles of people, inequality in our society, rural issues, and border security issues? Why did our media raise some corruption crusaders to the sky on one day and shut them off completely when graft charges were raised on those corporate sponsors? Media relies so much on the corporate funding and government blessings that they cannot report independently. NRI Samay is different. We don't accept funds from any corporations, and hence our shows are commercial free. We completely rely on donations from you. Please consider donating to NRI Samay, and please go to nrisamay.com and donate generously. This is the only way together that we can continue NRI Samay. All donations are kept transparent on nrisamay.com. And if you have any questions, please write to nrisamay@gmail.com.
Yes.
Now, the fundamental question I had is, how long is this campaign going on? Because, these are common sense things, and it's insane if this is being dragged for giving, as you said, constitutional rights, right? It is a fundamental right that a woman has got a right to access and then
Right
ask
to
for.
health.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, how long is this campaign going on? Supriya?
Actually, if we go to recollect, we had our first meeting on 5th May 2011. And basically it's a process, because when we started on 5th May 2011, we were not clear about how we are going about. But as we all came together, it's like not only the people who were in the fellowship program, they are together, but there are many women's organizations who were not a part of fellowship program, but they have come together. So now basically this campaign has become not Koro's campaign. It's recognized as Right to Pee campaign. It's a campaign of all.
Right.
So basically it's a process. And we are now going towards to attain a logical end of this process.
Okay. Now you mentioned about Right to Pee campaign, right? So that terminology did I don't know whether it is demeaning or not. But is that the name on which the campaign is running, and it's catching up attention? How do you? Okay.
Basically, when we started, it was a campaign for free, clean, safe public urinals for women. It was such a big name.
Right.
But it was the English media which has given it a name, a Right to Pee campaign, and that's how it got famous.
Okay.
It also appeared on the first page of the New York Times.
New York Times. Oh, okay. So nothing demeaning, right? It's just a matter.
It's like not only a local media, but national, international media has uplifted it. But we actually are awaiting for implementation.
Very true.
We are actually waiting for changing attitudes of the authorities. That yes, now women have started. It's not in 1850s wherein a woman used to be in house. we have started coming out. We are becoming a part of the public process.
Right. Right.
Accept it.
Right. Exactly. And
And not only accept it, recognize it.
recognize it. The first thing is recognizing. You know, when the Delhi gang rape happened and there was a lot of discussion, you know, the fundamental problem is people recognizing that there is a serious problem around us and how insensitive we are just, you know, debating and then talking about it. You got to get on board and then take some action on that, right? You cannot drag these things. When you say right to pee, it's a fundamental, basic biological thing, as you explained, and immediate actions are needed in these kind of when these campaigns run. But let me ask you this: I understand that MCD elections happened a year back, maybe, and there were newly elected representatives. Any change, any luck with these new people? Do you see a difference between the earlier elected representatives and are we looking at the same breed of people again coming through?
Yeah, we don't, as such, we don't find any drastic change as such. The things have remained the same. That asking, yes, you yourself find out the location, then we'll see of construction of toilets.
Right. And
so basically it's a attitude how you look towards.
Yes.
Towards women's participation in the economy. And for such, I mean, if we say it, maybe in India or anywhere else in the world, it's a political will which is very important in order to take such things towards implementation.
Right, right.
And which is almost, I would say, absent. Because in Mumbai, if there are 56% women corporators in the corporation, and to more than, if more than 50% population is a women population, and only 75 crores provision is made in the gender budget, and after 7 months there is no implementation, what do I say?
Yeah, yes. And you know, Supriya, when in the entire conversation when I talk to you, it's all about Coro and affiliated organizations, all of you working with the system and not with these corporators at all. How relevant are these corporators? What sense do they make if you're saying that 56% of elected people are women? And you know that politics are very tied in this democratic process. People, institution and politics complete the full cycle of democracy. And when you say that these elected representatives are nowhere in the picture, and you are directly dealing with system, filing RTIs, getting some authentic data, you know, going to the courts, what are these guys doing?
Basically, it's our experience as an organization that जिसका सवाल वो सवाल अच्छी तरह से छुड़ा सकता है. That means if it is my problem, I feel it's mine and I stand for it.
Right.
If a person working in a corporate, he has this facility in his office, he has this facility in his house, he travels by car, not by train or bus or public transport.
Right.
So it's a realization of the problem, basically realization of the problem and recognition of the problem. Basically unless and until it comes on me, I face it, I experience it, I can't fight against it.
Right.
So that's tough. Even to go ahead with this, we are trying to connect with even the people from corporates, because we have our page on the Facebook. We have a group of on the Facebook, and that is called as Right to Pee. And we have 897 members. They are not from. They all are not from social development sector. They all are working in different sectors. And we have also together in this campaign gynecologists, gender experts, town planning experts. So when we did after 2 years, when we did a review of what we did in last 2 years and what we have achieved, we have requested these town planners, we have requested gender budget experts, then reporters, gynecologists to understand it from the health point of view. So now it's a support system which has been created for this campaign.
Excellent.
So they also have their viewpoint towards it and to advocate from their own dimensions.
Right.
and to prepare us, because I'm speaking to you with a viewpoint of gender budget or maybe town planning. There are people who are mentoring our team, how we can advocate on such issues.
Right. I get it. Yes, I understand that. Now, Supriya, you know,
But still what you were saying, that we are awaiting to widen up our boundaries, and I can use this platform to request people all around the world to join us, and not only join but action in the take actions wherever they are.
Right, right. You know, I was talking to Ali Hussaini yesterday, and as I mentioned on NRSMI, we do interviews every week. Ali Hussaini is from Hyderabad, and basically this young man, he uses RTI and also grievance redressal mechanisms to apply pressure. And in his career, he has put in at least 150 of such grievances. And what he does is, he picks up a campaign, he goes to Facebook, you know, he says that, hey, this is the SMS, here is a number, put pressure by, now you're saying that 872 people are there, right? He will make sure that the MCD, the municipal the commissioner, all these people are getting public pressure by sending SMSs. So he uses all these people around the globe, requesting them, hey, send this guy, send this message to the municipal commissioner, and tell them that there is a pothole here that is basically causing a problem, and people, there are a lot of accidents in this location. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, I was talking to Ali Hussain, I was just mentioning, I just saw your Facebook page of Right to P as well. Now, coming back, when in our conversation we brought up a little bit on corporates, right? Now, in Bangalore, Infosys has taken an initiative. Of course, you know, politics is broken, institutions are not functioning. Then you look towards some people who can help, like corporates. Now, Infosys has taken an initiative along with, of course, maybe with the government sources they would have worked, which I don't want to deny it. Any luck dealing with corporates and getting some assistance?
Not yet. We have not widened our boundaries to that extent.
Okay.
We were actually focusing with the government machinery because it's our right. We have to get it.
Yes.
And they have to do it. They are public servants. We are not their servants.
Right.
So we believe that collective ownership of the issue, collective efforts and collective actions can bring up a change. Because these all we team members, we have not highly qualified, highly experienced. We all are working at the grassroots in the different communities. And such people are trying to make a change towards the gender policy, towards state women's policy. This thing needs to be recognized.
Right. Right. And you've been filing RTIs in this process, right, of this entire campaign.
Yeah.
So explain the responses. How responsive is RTI? Is RTI working? Of course, RTI works. I understand that. You get a lot of information. But tell us some success stories from RTI. And had you faced any difficulties? There's a 30-day limit. Do you get every data within that limit, or you are facing some problems?
No. As of filing and getting information, we have, as such, there were no difficulties. But the data they have provided, actually we still feel that there might be some, we take it as authentic data, but there are few things wherein they were not sure, but they have given it. And they don't feel, when they are saying that there are 2,849 for man, urinals for man, and they don't feel shy to write that there is a zero number for women. So that's basically an attitude. Because when we had gone to collect the RTI, and we were asking them, you have given information about man, but what about women? So write it. So the person in authority, he without any hesitation, he wrote there that there is no facility.
Wow, how insane can this be?
But in another sense, RTI helps you because you get some kind of a data which can be treated as, can be treated as authentic data. And when you have such an information, you can, it becomes your advocacy evidence. Your evidence for advocating your issue.
Yeah.
So that's how we can put pressure through media also, and as our group.
Right. And explain me this. Why in the world men shouldn't pay, and why in the world women should pay? What horrible, pathetic discrimination
That
is
is
this? What does the
basically
government
that-
say about this?
They are of the opinion that we should not provide free facility for women. I mean toilet facility, but urinal facility, as of their circular I've mentioned earlier, it's free, but only on the circular, not in implementation. They charge 2, 3, 4, 5, anything what they want. So here basically they say that when a woman needs to use it, it's due to her biological structure. She requires some privacy, a door closed. It is due to physical structure which is required. It is due to her biological structure during the menstrual period. She needs to use water. She needs that privacy in order to use it. There are certain things. And in case of men, they can even they have an ample number. Even in spite of that, they will defecate anywhere at open spaces.
Right.
And as I've mentioned earlier, till today, authority is not having that mindset that yes, women have started coming out. They are becoming a part of public economy. They are contributing towards the country's economy.
Right.
So accept it, recognize it, and provide them the facility.
Right. Very true. Very true.
So
and
that's the thing.
Yeah. And Supriya, you have taken a legal route, right? So what's up on that side?
Actually, we are in a preparation. As people might be aware that in Nagpur High Court, it was an PIL filed on the same issue. So also in the Delhi High Court, a PIL was filed in the same issue. So we are communicating with these people from Delhi too, and we are now at this stage, if within a given period, before the policy time period lapse, if it is not going towards implementation, we have to file a PIL on the not only on the constitutional grounds but on the human rights grounds. So we are in the process of filing it, but now the communication with the Women and Child Welfare Ministry is on, taking it towards implementation throughout Maharashtra. So both the process are simultaneously going ahead.
All right.
So basically now what we are doing is executive advocacy. If it's not working as we want it to work collectively, we will have a remedy of filing a public interest litigation and it goes to implementation.
Okay. Now almost getting, I think, 2 years in this campaign, right? 2 years in this campaign.
Yeah, right.
Now,
absolutely.
any progress? Do you see any toilets in 40-kilometer radius or 20-kilometer, 15-kilometer radius in Mumbai? Anything going on, or it's just that somebody should start off this initiative? Nothing has started yet.
Yeah, right. Before going to that, I would like to mention about two things. We are not only talking about the construction of new toilets or urinals. We are also saying that existing urinals should not be charged. That's one thing.
Right.
Secondly, as we have minutes of the meeting of Child Welfare Ministry with the Deputy CM, we know that we have come to know that at 10 places in the eastern and western highways, construction has been started. And some of construction sites we have seen. But that is not the whole impact what we expect.
Right.
So we have communicated to the ministry, to the corporation, that when it comes to the implementation of Mumbai, we as the Right to Pee campaign want to be with them in the implementation.
Excellent. And Supriya, a curious question to ask you. Is this the full-time work that you do? You work for Coro full-time?
Yeah, full-time.
Excellent.
By profession, actually, I'm lawyer, but now not practicing for individual advocacy. Now, what we do is collective advocacy. That's a public advocacy altogether.
Excellent, excellent. And Supriya, I really want to thank you and congratulate you for all your efforts, your time, and also, bringing a broader awareness about very basic necessities of life. And above all, this is a constitutional right, and it is insane to hear that such a campaign is going on, and that campaign is going on for past 2 years, and they're still thinking on what needs to be done. So I sincerely hope you guys doing your incredible work will spread across different parts. The campaign will grow, and we from NRI Samay will try to air this and also tell people to join this Facebook page, and also tell people that such and such campaign is going on, and come up with some ideas on how we could be of help. And also on NRI Samay, if you want us to post something which needs some broader attention, we would definitely help you guys in that front. Please do loop back with us, and any kind of support that you would need, just send one email to nrisamay@gmail.com. I would request all my friends who are listening to this conversation as well to write to nrisamay@gmail.com. Whatever way they can help people from Mumbai or people outside the country who are living in Mumbai, who can help with this campaign in whatever way possible as well. And also,
thank you, Mayor, very much for this.
Supriya, it's a great honor. I really want to thank you, and thank you for your time.
Yeah.
So friends, that was Supriya Sonar, and Supriya Sonar is part of this Committee of Resource Organizations, CORO, the organization that initiated many campaigns, out of which we talked about a movement for safe, better, hygienic toilets. And unfortunately, this campaign has been going on for 2 years, and it all started off when as part of CORO's Grassroots Leadership Advocacy Fellowship Program, which is run across Maharashtra with the support of many different organizations, over 100 organizations which I mentioned earlier. So CORO decided to look at the public advocacy part of it, and this is a campaign that's going on widely at Mumbai right now. So if you guys can do any favor, any help, any support of whatever is needed, please do visit their website, coroindia.org, coroindia.org. Reach out to these folks. There is a contact us page on the website, and you can reach out to CORO, talk to them, and then understand what help they would need from their side. As I mentioned earlier, in the behest of this national media talking loudly about shining India, developed country, large democracy, and 5 in 10 richest people in the world, and there's definitely something that's broken in the system, or broken in our mindset, wherein we stop respecting the roots of our human mankind, our own women, our mothers and sisters, and this is one campaign that's extremely important. Please do pitch in, friends. So from NRI Samay desk, this is Srikanth Kochalakota, and signing off. And as always, we would request your support. You can go to youtube.com/NRI Samay, listen to all our archives. You can go to facebook.com/NRI Samay, like us there, and also you could reach us out on Twitter, twitter.com/NRI Samay. Thank you, friends. Have a wonderful weekend.
Friends, if you liked today's show, please go to youtube.com/NRI Samay and click on the subscribe button. You will get notified every time we publish a new show. And you can also like us on our social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, and Google+.